Hey there, junior and senior girls of UT. I am so happy to be with you today talking about the spiritual discipline of Sabbath. It has been awesome to be with you guys this year as we've been diving into different spiritual disciplines. And today we're talking about Sabbath, which really couldn't be a better time to talk about Sabbath when we have an abundance of rest in our midst. So I'm excited to look into what God has to say. We are going to be in Exodus 20 this morning, a little bit in Genesis, looking at just how Sabbath came to be and what it means for us today. So let's dive in. What comes across your mind when you think of the word Sabbath? For a lot of us, it is just a day where you don't work, a day where you don't do anything. It can be your Saturday full of recreation and fun, where you're not thinking about the stresses of life. A lot of the times it's just rest and relaxation, but really in our culture, it comes down to just a day of not working. I think that it's really become a watered down practice of the Christian faith. We don't really know the importance of it. We don't really know the purpose or the benefit of having Sabbath. And I think we're missing out, and so I'm excited that we're talking about it. Did you know that Sabbath was actually one of the 10 Commandments? Some of you are like, yeah, I've grown up in Sunday school. Of course I know that Sabbath is a part of the 10 Commandments. But if you're like me and you didn't grow up in Sunday school, then this is actually a shocker, because you hear way more about do not murder, do not steal, don't commit adultery. Those are the ones that come to mind when I think of the 10 Commandments. But taking a Sabbath is actually the fourth commandment that God gives, right after don't make idols and don't use his name in vain. It's number 4. So it's like not only in the 10 Commandments, but it's like one near the top. So we can look at Exodus 20. We're starting in verse 8 and then we're going to 11. It says, "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is a Sabbath day to the Lord. On it you shall not do any work, neither you nor your son or daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor your animals, nor any foreigner residing in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them. But he rested on the 7th day. Therefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy." So we see right there in the 10 Commandments, Exodus 20 is the 10 Commandments, by the way. So we see that God is commanding it. It is something that he did and that he commands us to do. Let's talk first about why God himself took a Sabbath day. The word rest in this translation makes us think that God stopped everything and did nothing. But, because that's what you think of when you think of rest, is like you stop and do nothing. But the Hebrew word in this text is actually Shabbath, which actually means to come to a rest. And so if you think of a ball rolling on the ground and it rolling, and then coming to a rest, and almost this meaning of settling, that it didn't just stop and do nothing, it just came to a stillness. And so that's really what that word actually means in the text. And I think it makes sense that God would come to a stillness after making the world in 6 days. Genesis 1:1 says that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And then in Genesis 2:3 it says that then God blessed the 7th day and he made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. How exhausting would it have been to make a whole planet, a sea, and humans in 6 days? I mean, I'm like, our brains can always get really twisted when we think about the beginning of creation. It's like, how do you even fathom creating that much? So many intricate details in the matter of 6 days. And not like at all, really, but in 6 days. It just must have taken a lot of work to make every living thing, every mountain, every star, every fish in the sea. So much work. Exhausting, right? But does God get tired? Jesus got tired, but he was also a man. Does God the Father have muscles that wear down or a brain that gets overwhelmed? My guess is that he doesn't. Our God is a God that needs nothing. He lacks in nothing. He doesn't need more energy. He doesn't need more time, not more resources. He lacks in nothing. So if our God does not get tired or need rest, why would he establish a day where he rested after creating everything if he didn't need it? Let's think about what he did on this day of rest. He blessed the day and made it holy. It says he rested from all the work and creating he had done. I picture God in this awesome garden that he just made and soaking in the awe of what he had just done. God is perfect. He's flawless. He's without error. Everything that he made was perfect. It makes sense that he would want to sit in the stillness of it and enjoy it after creating it. We're not so different. We as humans take millions of photos of our kids, post our dinner plates on Instagram, document our best work and achievements on the wall. It's what we do because we're proud of what we make and produce. The point being that a creator is proud of its creation. God took a whole day to just marvel at the work he had done, to let it sing to him. It's funny to think that creation was made for the Sabbath day and not the other way around. Everything that God does is for his glory. Would you agree with that? Everything that God does is for his glory, to bring more and more glory to himself, because he's God and it's his glory. It makes sense that there would be a whole day to just rest in that. So we know why God rested in Sabbath. But why is it something that he commands of us? Ezekiel 20:19-20 says that I am the Lord your God. Follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. Keep my Sabbaths holy, that they may be a sign between us. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God. Pretty cool. Hebrews 4:9-10 says that there remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their works, just as God did from his. We have a tendency to be our own God in our life, wouldn't you say? We make an idol of ourselves and what we do. Even those around us can become our gods. On an average day, it's, I've got to do good in school. I've got to work harder. I've got to be better, look better, earn this, earn that. I want so badly to control who I am and what I do. I even want to control what others do sometimes. I want to produce and earn something so that I can sit in the glory of my own work. Anybody relate? I want to be my own God. And because God loves me, he won't let me. He won't let me be my own God because he knows that it's terrible for me. He commands me that I take at least one day of the week to remember who he is, what he has done, and what he is doing right now. If I don't, I will be left to my own sinful nature, too easily forgetting that all glory is his. all control is his. By taking one day to not work, but to rest in his glory, is reminding me that it is all to him that I owe. I need not worry about tomorrow, and he has already forgiven my past. Sabbath and rest is really a call to remember, to surrender, and to praise. It's not about having a day where you just don't work. It's not about having a day where you just don't think about stressful things. It's more than that. It's remembering who God is, and it's remembering that we have been given the opportunity to surrender our lives and to praise God for really doing all good things in our life. Hebrews 4:11 says that let us therefore make every effort to enter that rest, so that no one will perish by following their example of disobedience. Wow. That's a good memory verse right there. I don't know about you, but I don't want to follow my own example of disobedience. I want to be able to enter into the rest of God. It makes more sense why this is so important to God, right? He commands that we take a Sabbath or holy day once a week. This can tangibly look like you literally not working. It can look like that. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to church with your family or with friends and just being in praise of who God is. It could also be a day that you sit in his presence while reading or journaling and doing something that you love. However you choose to honor God, he is honored. Isn't that cool? We can do anything, and as long as it's not sin and as long as it's not bad, if we dedicate it to God, he's honored by that. It is true for me that I need Sabbath at least once a week to keep myself from disobedience. That is true in my own life. If I don't stop and remember who God is and what he's done and what he's doing, I'm gonna run away with my own flesh. I'm going to run away with my own mind and my becoming my own God. And it is so bad for me every time that happens. I'm so thankful that God created Sabbath and created rest. And I think there's even more of an opportunity to Sabbath than just once a week. God commands it once a week because he knows that we can't go a week without being our own God. But based on the meaning of Sabbath, remembering that God is God and you're not, this should be happening more than just once a week. Wouldn't you agree? What would it look like to Sabbath every week? To Sabbath once a day every week? What would it look like to Sabbath every day? Maybe setting aside time in the morning to be with the Lord or praying before you go to bed. But to once a day, have a Sabbath, maybe looking out your window and just remembering, hey God, I know you're here with me. I know you're in control. What about every hour? Every hour just stopping for a minute and thinking, okay, God, this hour is yours. I am yours for this hour, and you are my God, and I'm not. What would it look like to once a year have a Sabbath? What would it look like to set aside a week of the year and just intentionally process your life and think about what God did in your year? Maybe it's going on vacation with friends that love God and are pointing you to remember who he is in your life and what he's at work in. Sabbath is so much more than not working. It's remembering that God is in control. I hope you've heard me say that a lot, and I hope that it sticks. God is in control, and Sabbath is an opportunity to habitually remember that, to make it a discipline in your life where you are intentionally remembering that you are in control, especially a season that we're in where it feels like we're losing control of everything. It's an amazing opportunity to remember that God really is in control of everything. We love you guys, and we hope to see you soon.